If you spent a lot of time in Smash, there's a good chance you've seen a chart like this. Characters grouped up by how heavy they are and by how fast they fall. For new players learning how to deal damage, they're great resources for understanding combo routes, since different characters take the same combos at different percents. The examples given also help to intuit how to combo and juggle other characters, making the task of learning how to punish nearly 90 unique characters just a bit more bearable. But in neutral, where nobody's being comboed or juggled, I think these charts actually fall a little flat in telling players what to expect. Look at Fox and Little Mac. Both of these guys are in the same part of the chart, but one look at both characters shows that they move extremely differently. Even considering that Mac's aerials aren't great, he rarely jumps to navigate around obstacles, while Fox takes advantage of his fall speed all the time. It's clear that there's something else at play here, and unfortunately it doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should be. The reason for this difference is one of my favorite stats, gravity. Gravity is a stat that impacts vertical speed. Basically, if fall speed is the speed limit of a character, then gravity is their acceleration, defining how fast that they reach that speed limit. For example, Squirtle and Olimar have the same max fall speed, but different gravity values. So while both fall at the same rate, Squirtle reaches his top speed just a bit faster than Olimar, so he lands first. Gravity is loosely correlated with jump speed, as the game gives more velocity to high gravity fighters to offset its pull. Here, Daisy has twice the gravity of Peach. Their jump heights are still the same, but Daisy reaches the apex of her jump first. And this is important, because the faster a fighter starts falling after a jump, the faster they can do this. Fast falling. Fast falling skips the acceleration of gravity and instantly drops fighters to 160% of their maximum fall speed. Usually. Players seeing their opponent jump at them will usually respond the same way multiple times in a row, so the faster that a character can land from jumping, the faster they can punish this habit. Graphing characters by their ratio of fall speed to gravity, something interesting pops up. Most characters keep a pretty average value, ranging from pretty quick hops to can be swatted out of the air on reaction, but it's good if the opponent isn't paying attention. Things break down at the very top though. Sheik, Brawler, Greninja, they're miles ahead of the rest of the cast and infamous for being able to mix anybody with just a jump. Fox is pretty much breaking the damn scale here. He's able to practically choose his vertical position at all times, and his fastest jump is literally unreactable. Couple this with his insane aerials, and Fox has access to some of the most oppressive pressure in the entire game. That's not to say that low gravity is strictly bad though. Characters with low fall speed and gravity don't have great approach mix, but they often have incredible edge guarding, being able to stay off stage and possess airspace for an extremely long time, with many of these characters leaning into this perk. Puff has among the highest airspeed and best air control in the game. On top of that, she also has 5 jumps. This allows her to basically edge guard as deep as she wants. It also helps that most of her aerials send out and into themselves, giving access to air dodge frame traps. Base, it hasn't even been 15 seconds yet, so we have mix-up characters up here and edge guarding characters down here. Naturally, the next question would be, what are the characters in the other areas of the chart like? Unfortunately, it's not really a position to envy. Characters up here can fall fast, but because their gravity values are so low, they struggle to take advantage of it the same way someone like Fox or Brawler would. At the same time, because their max falling speed is so high, getting launched puts them under time pressure to get back before their fall speed puts them into the blast zone. Most of these characters are on the opposite end of our graph from earlier, and it's clear that limited air control was designed to be a weakness for them. It's so damning to survivability that they all have a unique tool to make it back on stage. Simon has not 1, but 3 moves that tether to the ledge, meaning that he always has access to a long distance recovery option. Snake can damage himself with C4 to refresh his Cypher, allowing him to basically recover indefinitely, at the risk of doing 20% to himself and or being intercepted. Still, when the stat combo is so bad that developers are routinely throwing bones to your corner, you know it's not the place you want to be in. Oh, as for that corner, really the only example I could find is Squirtle. He seems to be doing fine. It's clear how much having a gravity stat aligned with your fall speed does for you as a character. It's almost single-handedly defining the playstyles of these two guys. Say, I wonder what would happen if we switched these two values around. I think I'm gonna be sick. Admittedly, Mac probably isn't the best character to give these stats to. Even if he gets better at closing in, the new gravity value pretty much negates his recovery tools. I mean, look at this. Haymaker literally won't come out unless I press the button early. Fox doesn't fare much better with the change either, as his empty jumps and aerial pressure become much worse. 17 frame short hop fast fall? Try 25. Side note, what the hell is this? If you're a Fox main, you might already know that Fox's forward air gives a bit of height with every swing of his legs. Because his normal gravity offsets this gain almost as fast as he gets it, it's mostly relegated to boosting his double jump. Lower that gravity value, and Fair basically turns into a helicopter. Now I know what some character mains might be thinking at this point. Hey, if gravity impacts vertical speed, then doesn't that mean that more gravity lets me live longer off the top? Unfortunately, the developers thought ahead. When being launched at an angle between 70 and 110 degrees, the game temporarily replaces the victim's gravity with a unique value. I'm going to call this vertical knockback gravity, or VKG. Yes, it is actually that precise. VKG is based on the character's weight, meaning that vertical knockback is exclusively determined by the weight of the victim, with no input from their actual gravity. For most characters, this results in a slight decrease in their survivability, with the biggest detriment being to Pichu and Fox, who die about 5% earlier off the top than they otherwise would. This was presumably done to make combo games more consistent against the cast, as wrestling with extremely high gravity values could complicate combo routes or allow for stupid shit like this. Setting a VKG to something high, like 10, creates some really jarring effects. Alternatively, setting a character's VKG to 0 means that they don't slow down at all until they exit hit stun. You gotta get pretty creative to combo this.
Let's go.
So, why am I talking about all of this? Well, honestly, I just find it interesting how much of an impact these numbers have on gameplay. In 2019, Nintendo accidentally lowered Mii Brawler's fall speed from 1.92 to 1.7. Because his gravity is so high, this change didn't impact his mix-up game too much. In fact, his regular short hop only lasted about 1 frame longer with this new change. Gee, I sure hope none of Mii Brawler's moves were only 1 frame off of being able to auto-cancel in a short hop. In my time testing this version of Brawler, I couldn't find any combo routes that pushed his damage output any further. Just new routes that were way easier than what he normally does. There was this though.
Game! Mii Brawler wins!
Nintendo realized their mistake and switched the stat back to its intended value in the next update, where they also buffed Thrust Uppercut. I definitely think he's healthier like this. Call Thrupper bullshit all you want, but being able to bully people with 3 lagless aerials in neutral would have been completely overkill. Alright, fuck it. Let's go into the negatives. Huh. Oh. Shit, I'm down.